Hey, it's Charlie Bear from Games Radar. I'm at the Gears of War 3 multiplayer review event in San Francisco, and I'm here with none other than Cliff Bleszinski. He's going to be sharing his tips and tricks for every map in the multiplayer. And should we start with Checkout?
So Checkout was one of the maps that was in the beta, which was very well received. And the thing you need to know about this map is it's snug. It's super close quarters, so you're probably going to want to stick with the shotguns in that map.
Would there be a second weapon after the shotgun if you don't?
Second weapon after the shotgun's probably the retro Lancer, the Pendulum Era Lancer, because it's very good at kind of medium to close range and not very good at long range. And again, you can use a sniper rifle and a hammerburst in that map and be effective, but generally you want to stick with close quarter weapons.
And what does the fire alarm do?
The fire alarm actually triggers a hidden weapon that you have to then find after you trigger it, and it's kind of hard to find, and in the beta it was just a smoke grenade, but in the full version you might be able to find something fun and secret there. Drydock is a map that not a lot of people have seen yet. It's essentially what it sounds like. It's a bunch of ships that are in Drydock. We like to play Horde in this map. It's a very, very fun Horde map, and if you're playing it, you're going to want to hole up as high as possible. Stay off the low ground and camp up and build your bases up high, because once those creatures start coming, you want that height advantage.
I also played Beast Mode recently on that. Is that a good map for Beast Mode?
All the modes are good across all the maps, but and that one's pretty good for Beast, but my favorite way to play Beast Mode is actually in Sandbar. So Sandbar is a unique map for the Gears franchise in the fact that it's actually the largest multiplayer map we've ever built for Gears. Normally the maps are the kind of snug ones like Trenches or Checkout, but Sandbar is sprawling, it's beautiful, and you feel like you're in paradise until your head gets blown off.
How big is it compared to some of the biggest maps we've seen in Gears of War 1 or 2?
I would say it's possibly twice as big, if not larger. And that's a map that, again, you want to have the high ground if you're playing Horde mode. And remember that the boom shot spawns up high and grab that and decimate your foes. Gridlock is the perennial Gears of War favorite map. It was actually the map that kind of cracked the code of what we thought would be fun for Gears multiplayer. The key for that one, I think, is to continue to focus on the high ground where the sniper rifle usually spawns, and make sure that you're kind of controlling the grenades in the middle of the map. Otherwise, somebody's going to take you out. It's really all about the middle of that map, man. I mean, the boom shot all the way through to the sniper and the grenades. If you control the middle, you control the entire map.
And how's the map look different than when we've seen in previous Gears?
So the latest iteration of Gridlock it's kind of a nighttime vibe, but you can still see enemies, of course. We go with a movie dark where everything's more bathed in blue. And it's kind of has the same look as the area called Char that's in the main campaign, which is an area that's been damaged so bad by the Hammer of Dawn that it's completely burnt beyond recognition.
I blew your mind.
What about Hotel? What should we do on Hotel?
Hotel's another map that people haven't seen a lot of yet. It is what it sounds like. It is a hotel. It's one of those maps that you're going to want to stay inside generally, especially if you're playing Horde mode. You're going to want to kind of hole up in the hotel and watch the doors and plant your fortifications and hole up, much like characters in Night of the Living Dead.
What will happen to you if you get stuck outside?
If you get stuck outside, you might find a Brumac spawning on the top of your head in Horde mode, right? And it's also really fun to see a Brumac spawn and he's trying to get into the hotel, kind of Jurassic Park style, right?
And then moving on to Mercy.
So Mercy was a map that we showed at E3 when we showed off Beast Mode previously. It's a map that takes place in kind of a Spanish-style village that's a little bit tropical. This one, again, is about the high ground. There's stairs on one side of the map, whereas heavy weapons often spawn, such as the one-shot. And then there's a church in that area as well that has a boom shot in it. So control those two sections of the map and you'll win. Overpass is a map that kind of harkens back to the original Gears 1 style of kind of having blown out roads and pillars and things like that. That map actually has a turret in it. It's the only map that has one of the multi-turrets in it. And you can really control the high ground by getting on that thing and taking out your enemies.
Any tips for how to get to that turret before anybody else?
One of the best ways to get to the turret before everybody else is to use your smoke grenades and charge through the smoke, which is also a great way to get a free kebab. I love the chainsaw. It's kind of our baby, but there's nothing better for me than throwing out a smoke and just holding the B button with the retro and hopefully getting something. I feel like it's dynamite fishing. Thrash Ball, of course, was in the beta, and we've since modified Thrash Ball as well as Trenches to make sure that spawn camping is very, very difficult to do now in the retail game. The big thing about Thrash Ball is controlling that middle in regards to knocking down the scoreboard, but it's also about that high ground that is on the side of the map, because once you actually can hole up there, like breaking that lock is very, very difficult to do, and I've seen entire matches won that way. Trenches, of course, was in the beta. Trenches is about a lot of different things, it's that play between the mortar and the upper area. But the best way I've found to play that map and the most gratifying time I've had is when the one-shot spawns up top and I have friends who are spotting for me. Because what happens is, even through the mist, they spot them and I can just take out the bad guys. And also, same thing with the mortar in that map. So I guess it's a combination of heavy weapons and spawning are the best ways to kind of kick butt in trenches.
And where do you want to be when that sandstorm comes in?
When that sandstorm hits, you ideally would want to be in the new underground section we added in, because otherwise people are going to be raining mortar hell upon everybody. And, it turns into madness when that sandstorm hits, because everybody just switches to their retro Lancers and starts bayonet charging through everything. Old Town is another one that turned out to be a fan favorite of the beta. The key to winning in Old Town lies in the chickens. If you can grenade tag the chickens and have them chase your enemies down, then you'll be winning in that map.
Come back.
Any overall tips for just the multiplayer in general in Gears 3, even for people that think they're prepared because they're awesome at Gears 2 and 1?
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite techniques to do is to find somebody who's reviving somebody else and get close to them and use my sawed-off shotgun to smear both of them, which is immensely gratifying. Learn to use the digger launcher. It's very, very useful. It can actually be as useful as the boom shot in the right hands. One of the things about the digger is you can aim upwards so that it'll actually have a higher arc before the little digging creature gets in the ground, so you can lose some of the telegraph so people don't hear it coming at them as soon as you would do that. Also, remember when you meatbag somebody and take them as a hostage, you inherit their grenades. So if you happen to have frags and I take you, then I can hit up on the D-pad, bag tag you, and take out some bad guys.
Well, thanks for sharing your tips.
Cool, thanks for having me.
And the game comes out September 20th.
Yep.
About how soon can we expect more multiplayer from Gears 3 after that?
Well, we have announced the season pass where you can buy all the DLC up front. There will be 4 DLCs, so it's going to be a combination of new multiplayer maps, new features for Horde and Beast, as well as brand and spanking new campaign.
Great. Thanks a lot, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for having me.